Welcome to part 1 of the In a Tizzy Crochet Along. I am Polly Plum, your host and designer of this pattern. In part 1, we're going to make the first of 4 triangles that make up the blanket body. For materials, you're going to need your yarn and a hook. I used Lion Brand Mandala Ombre in the colorway Happy with a 5mm crochet hook. As a reminder, this pattern works in pretty much any yarn that you want to use. Just make sure and use an appropriately sized hook for your chosen yarn. You're also going to need a measuring tape because how big you make side 1 is going to determine how big your blanket is before you put the border on. For this video tutorial, I'm just going to be using scraps from my yarn cakes and making a small square to demonstrate. So now let's take a look at what we'll be making. Here's a picture of what side 1 is going to look like when you're done making it. The bottom point is row 1 and the top is the final row. In the final blanket, side 1 will be placed like this. It will be turned and row 1 will be in the upper left-hand corner. And the final row will run from the opposite corner to the center. Are you ready? Let's get started. So to start with row 1, the first thing that we're going to do is start with a slip knot on our hook and chain 4. 2, 3, 4. Now this chain 4 counts as a chain 1 and then a double crochet. So the first chain is like the foundation. This is going to be your corner where we're going to work all our stitches for row 1, and then the next 3 chains count as your first double crochet. So into that very first chain, we're going to make a double crochet. Don't worry too much about which loops you work into, it really doesn't matter here. So a double crochet into that very first chain that we made, and now a treble right after that into the same exact spot. And that's it. That is row 1. For row 2, we are going to turn our work around and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this chain 4 counts as our first treble. Now into the very first stitch, so the last treble of chain 1 of row 1, into that very first stitch, we're going to make 2 double crochets, and this is how we're going to increase our side. So 2 double crochets all into that very first stitch, the treble from row 1. Then into the next stitch, the double crochet, make a double crochet, and then into the top of the chain 3 that we started with in row 1, into the top of that chain, we're going to make a double crochet. Again, don't worry too much about which loops you're working into because this is all going to be hidden when we join up our sides. And that's it, that's row 2. Okay, now for row 3, we are going to again turn our work and chain 3. And now this chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. For the whole pattern, when we chain 3 at the beginning of a row, it counts as our first double crochet worked into the first stitch. So don't work anything else into that first stitch. Into the next stitch, work a double crochet. Into the next stitch, work a double crochet. And now into the next stitch, we're going to work a front post extended double crochet. Now if you want, you can work a front post treble if you find that easier. I like the front post extended double crochet because I think it looks a little it's a little bit tighter than the front post treble, so I think it gives a better look, but really you can use either one that you are more comfortable with. So here's how you do it. Yarn over once and then insert your hook from front to back around the post of the stitch, then yarn over and pull up a loop. Now yarn over and pull through one loop on your hook, just one, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So you see it's almost as tall as a front post treble. It's just a tiny bit shorter, so it's a little bit tighter, and it will give you a just slightly more polished look in the end. Okay, now that we've done that, the last stitch is this treble, the chain 4 that counts as a treble actually. And into the top of that chain 4, we're going to make 2 double crochets and a treble. So 1 double, 2 doubles, and then a treble. So that's our increase pattern, and that very last stitch on this side gets 2 doubles and a treble. So that's it. That is row 3. Okay, for row 4, again, turn and chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to count as your first treble. And into that very first stitch, the treble from the previous row, make 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Now double crochet in each of the next 2 double crochets. 1 and 2, and the next stitch that you're going to come across is the front post extended double crochet. We're going to make a back post extended double crochet around this stitch. So yarn over once and insert your hook from back to front around the post of that stitch. Okay, so my work gets a little twisty when I do it, so I'll try and make it so that you can see it. If I turn it over, let's see, from back to front around the post of that stitch and pull up a loop. Then yarn over and pull through 1 loop on your hook, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. And that's a back post extended double crochet. Now into the next stitch, which is a double crochet, make a double crochet. Into the stitch after that, make a double crochet. And then the last stitch is your chain 3 that counts as a double crochet. Go ahead and double crochet into that. And that is row 4. For row 5, turn and chain 3 to count as your first double crochet. And don't work anything else into that first stitch. Into the next stitch, work a double crochet. Into the next stitch, work a double crochet. The next stitch after that will be your front post extended double crochet and your back post extended double crochet. You see they're starting to stack up, and we're going to keep following that and make a front post extended double crochet around that back post extended double crochet. So yarn over once, insert your hook from front to back around the post of that stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 1 loop on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Now double crochet in each of the next 3 double crochets. So, oops, 1, 2, and 3. Now you should have just 2 stitches left, a double crochet, and then the chain 4 that counts as a treble on the end. So around that next double crochet, we're going to make a front post extended double crochet. So yarn over once, insert your hook from front to back around the post of the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. And now into the last stitch, that chain 4 that counts as a treble, into the very top chain, we're going to make 2 double crochets and a treble. And that's it. That is row 5. Okay, now for row 6. This is an important one because this row you're going to repeat. So for row 6, we're going to turn and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 to count as our first treble, and then into that very first stitch, the treble, make 2 more double crochets, 1 and 2, and then double crochet in each of the next 2 double crochets. Okay, now here's where the repeat starts. So the next stitch is the front post extended double crochet. Around that we're going to make a back post extended double crochet. So around a front post double crochet we make a back post extended double crochet. So yarn over once, insert your hook from back to front around the post of the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay. Then make 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3 double crochets, 1 in each of the next 3 stitches, and that brings us to our next front post extended double crochet. And around that, so this is where our repeat repeats. Around that we're going to make our back post extended double crochet. So back post extended double crochet, and then again 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and the last one is going to go into the top of the chain 3 that counts as our first double crochet of that row. Okay, so that is row 6. That's what you're going to repeat. You're just going to repeat the back post extended double crochet and then 1, 2, 3 double crochets. Back post extended double crochet, 1, 2, 3 double crochets all the way to the end. And that's how you repeat for row 6. For row 7, turn, and again this is a repeat row, so this is an important one. For row 7, start by chaining 3, 1, 2, 3, to count as your first double crochet. No more stitches in that very first stitch. Into the next 2 stitches make double crochets. So 1 and 2. Okay, now here's what you're going to repeat for row 7. Front post extended double crochet around the next stitch, which is the back post extended double crochet. Front post extended double, and then 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that's what you're going to repeat. Front post extended double crochet, 1, 2, 3 double crochets. Front post extended double crochet, and then then 1, 2, 3 double crochets. So just repeat that all the way across your side to the last 2 stitches, okay? In the second to last stitch, that last double crochet right before the chain 4 that counts as a treble, we're going to make a front post extended double crochet. And then into the top of the chain 4, make double crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, and then a treble. And that is row 7. So to finish side 1, what you're going to do is repeat row 6 and row 7 until you have a total of 49 rows. That's if you're making a blanket that you want to be similar or identical to mine. Or if you want to make something a little more your own, you want to change the size, or maybe you're using different yarn, what you can do is repeat the rows until you have the size that you want. And to find out what size you're at, I want you to take your piece. So normally you're working back and forth like this. I want you to take your piece and turn it and measure this long edge. So this long edge is going to become the side of your blanket. This point right here is going to be the center of your blanket. And these corners are going to be the outside corners of your blanket. So again, here's a picture of what side one will look like when it is part of the entire blanket. That's it for this part of our crochet along. Thank you so much for crocheting along with me, and I will see you next week for part 2. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video tutorial, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Every Trick on the Hook, or follow me on Facebook, also Every Trick on the Hook. Subscribe to my blog, everytrickonthehook.com, or you can follow me on Instagram. I'm actually Polly Plum on Instagram. And best yet, join the Facebook group, the Polly Plum Pattern Posse, where you can get lots of help and support, and it's just a great place to share pictures of what you made. Thanks a lot. See you next time.